Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're charting an evidence-based roadmap to lasting well-being. We're going to bypass all the typical fluffy advice and look directly at what the science says actually makes us happy. So let's start building a better framework for our lives. Okay, let's dive into this by confronting a massive societal misunderstanding. Is happiness just a fleeting mood? For so long, we've basically been conditioned to believe that happiness is just something that happens to us. We treat it like the weather. Some days are sunny, some days are rainy, and we're just these passive recipients of whatever emotional climate happens to roll in. But modern research completely shatters this misconception. Looking at happiness as a temporary, unpredictable feeling isn't just inaccurate, it's literally holding us back from achieving it.
According to psychological science, we need to redefine the goal entirely. Happiness is actually an output. It emerges from the way your life is structured, the choices you make consistently, and the environment you inhabit. It is a structural output, not a passive state. It's the direct result of how you design your days, the people you surround yourself with, and the boundaries you enforce. It's something you actively engineer.
To get there, This Explainer synthesizes a massive amount of research into a clear, two-pronged roadmap of protecting energy and cultivating joy. We'll cover the architecture of happiness, drawing your boundaries, cultivating social fitness, time affluence, and experiences, the internal mindset shift, and finally, living without regrets.
Section 1. The architecture of happiness. Moving from passive mood to active practice. Building a happy life requires intentional design.
The foundational step in our architecture is actually defensive. It's an old saying, but absolutely crucial. You cannot pour from an empty cup. Before you can add joy and connection into your life, you have to plug the holes where your energy is currently leaking out. You must secure your perimeter before you can build anything meaningful. If you're constantly drained by the demands of the world, you simply won't have the psychological bandwidth required to be happy.
Section 2. Drawing your boundaries. Defense. Protecting your energy. We have to draw some specific lines in the sand so we don't lose ourselves to daily demands.
Let's fire through these key defensive boundaries. First up, digital boundaries. Our phones are constantly screaming for attention, right? Making your bedroom a phone-free zone after 9 p.m. replaces hollow blue light with real-world clarity and way better sleep. Next, work boundaries. You need a hard laptop close time. Listen, if you're checking Slack while trying to eat dinner with your family, work is winning and you are losing. Then, availability. You don't owe everyone an instant reply. It is entirely okay to live in do not disturb mode. And finally, social boundaries. Audit your circle to avoid energy vampires. Save your social battery for the people who actually fuel your soul. And this brilliantly illustrates how crucial time boundaries are. Try the 24-hour rule before saying yes to a new request. We have to stop treating our schedules like a public park and start treating them like a private garden. Time is literally the only resource you cannot earn back. Setting a time boundary means giving yourself permission to pause before committing. When you gatekeep your time, you finally give yourself the space to breathe. Now, protecting your energy also means protecting your emotions. You can care deeply about someone's problems without drowning in them. You aren't a human sponge. Emotional boundaries are tough, for sure, but they are entirely necessary. It's wonderful to be the person people call when they're struggling, but taking on everyone else's drama is just going to leave you burnt out instead of genuinely helpful.
Section 3. Cultivating social fitness. The science of relationships. Now we shift to the offensive phase of our roadmap.
Relationships require the exact same deliberate investment as going to the gym. Look at these striking findings from the Harvard Study of Adult Development. Social isolation carries health risks comparable to smoking 15 cigarettes a day. On the flip side, social fitness predicts physical health, cognitive resilience, and longevity way better than wealth or IQ. This proves the connection is a physiological necessity, not just an emotional nice-to-have. We are wired for human connection.
Okay, so what does this magic number 5 mean? Well, it's not the hours of sleep you need or your weekly workouts. Science suggests that having exactly 5 close friends makes you 60% more likely to report being very happy. No way, right? But it's true. You don't need a massive network of hundreds of acquaintances. What matters is a secure circle of quality individuals. Quality profoundly beats quantity here.
And how do we build those quality connections? By skipping the small talk. Small talk actually hinders long-term happiness, while deep conversations boost it. Eleanor Roosevelt hit the nail on the head when she said, "Great minds discuss ideas, while small minds discuss people." Skipping trivial chatter for substantive talk significantly increases our long-term happiness.
Engaging in matters of substance bonds us closer to the people we're talking to. Section 4. Time affluence and experiences. Treating time like wealth. Are you protecting your time as fiercely as your bank account?
So the crucial point is understanding the difference between time poverty and time affluence. Time poverty is that chronic feeling of being overwhelmed and lacking control over your day. Time affluence is the felt sense that you actually have enough time and the autonomy to direct it. And the research is clear. Using money to buy back your time brings far more well-being than buying material goods.
When we do spend our money, science proves that spending on experiences beats buying physical items every single time. Here's exactly why. First, experiences improve over time. They age like fine wine in our memories. Second, people revisit those memories way more often than they admire old purchases. Third, they're uniquely yours, saving you from comparing your stuff to your neighbors. Fourth, we adapt to experiences slowly. The thrill of a vacation lingers way longer than the thrill of a new watch. And fifth, experiences are highly social. Oh, and by the way, even just anticipating an experience, like planning a trip months in advance, immensely extends your joy.
Section 5. The internal mindset shift. Redefining the self and success. Now let's look at the internal habits necessary for happiness.
This shift starts with a great concept. Humility isn't thinking less of yourself, it's thinking of yourself less. Tying your self-esteem to external success creates a fickle, emotional roller coaster and an intense fear of failure. Happy people just don't tie their worth to external motivators. By disconnecting your ego from your achievements, you avoid self-sabotage and that exhausting obsession with looking perfect.
To really lock this in, we have to cultivate psychological richness. A truly rich life isn't just about comfort. You have to seek novelty and growth, which means accepting voluntary discomfort to stretch yourself. Also, focus on the frequency of small pleasures over intensity. A daily walk with a coffee actually beats a once-a-year luxury cruise when it comes to sustained happiness. Finally, practice gratitude. Showing sincere gratitude is proven to boost happiness by up to 25%.
Section 6. Living without regrets. The ultimate stakes. Let's look at what happens if we fail to implement this roadmap.
A famous study on the top regrets of the dying found this. Most people had not honored even a half of their dreams and had to die knowing that it was due to choices they had made or not made. Just let the heavy reality of that sink in for a second. A life lived on autopilot, saying yes to everything, failing to protect your time, failing to invest in your closest friends, ends up passing you by completely.
Which leaves us with this final provocative question. What boundaries do you need to set today to protect your tomorrow? Happiness doesn't just happen to you, it is built, block by block, choice by choice. I encourage you to take just one concept we explored today, whether it's the 24-hour rule, turning your phone off at 9 p.m., or calling a close friend, and apply it right now. Don't let your time slip away. Thanks for joining me on this explainer. Now go out there and start building.